How is it going, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get into today's video, I did just want to say, if you aren't subscribed to this channel already, definitely consider subscribing for more automotive news videos, car reviews, DIY videos, and a bunch of different just automotive videos in general. And me being a smaller YouTuber, it definitely does help me out a lot to leave a like on this video. Again, it just helps me kind of get more engagement and more reach and overall in the algorithm, so I would definitely appreciate that a lot. Now, getting into today's video, this is something that was just leaked over the course of the past couple days, and pretty much Cadillac has officially confirmed that they are actually building a car to compete in the hypercar class of Le Mans for 2023. And I mean, you could tell from this first picture here. I will be leaving the link to this article down in the description below if you want to go read it yourself. But I mean, the car looks absolutely wild. Now, obviously, this is just a concept version of the actual finished product. We're nowhere even near the actual finished product yet, but it looks absolutely crazy. And before we continue talking about Cadillac, I did just want to mention the other GM-owned manufacturer that just competed in Le Mans 2021. And that manufacturer is, of course, Chevy, and I believe they're actually the sole representation of American manufacturers in this Le Mans. And honestly, they did not do bad at all. They did not win the whole thing, but they did have two C8R Corvettes competing in the LMDh Pro class. And I don't know about you guys, but I was watching Motor Trend's actual broadcast of Le Mans 2021, and I was also watching the live feed from the number 63 car, which was the Chevy Corvette, or one of the Corvette C8Rs that was actually in the race, and that was actually on Chevy's YouTube channel, which was really cool on them to kind of include that footage. I saw a lot of the kind of middle of the night battle between that car and the number 51 Ferrari 488 GTE car that actually did go on to win the LMDh Pro class. But the two C8Rs that did represent Chevy actually, again, had a pretty damn good showing. Towards the beginning of the race, they looked like they were in a very comfortable lead, but unfortunately, again, they did not win their class. But the number 63 car, which was the camera car for that live feed, didn't finish number 2 in the LMDh Pro class and 21st overall. And then the number 64 C8R Corvette actually finished 6th in the GTE Pro class and 44th place overall. Now, again, 2nd and 6th in their, respected class. That is, again, a pretty damn good showing. Now, overall, if you didn't watch it or don't know, Toyota did win Le Mans with their hypercar, the number 7 Toyota car. But I did, want to mention those C8Rs because not only is that another GM-owned manufacturer that did compete in this past Le Mans, but those C8Rs are using the exact powertrain that is going to be used in the new C8 Z06s. Now, again, I don't want to get into all the details about a Corvette because I'm not making a video on a Corvette, but all of this GM information is a lot of really good news that is coming out of GM, coming out of General Motors. So with this whole Cadillac hypercar concept that's going to compete both in North American as well as European races, I do think that this is going to be an actual car. I think they're actually going to put the R&D and the money behind this car to, of course, go ahead and manufacture it and actually race and compete with it. Now, 2023 will actually mark the very first time that Cadillac is going to be represented in Le Mans since 2002. So over 20 years, which is another very significant thing about this car. And probably one of the first things that you would notice about this car, if you are a big Le Mans or just racing fan in general, motorsports fan in general, is that it is or at least the concept right now doesn't have a rear wing. Now, if this was 5, 10, 15 years ago, that might be completely unheard of. But it, again, remember, it is going to be racing in this hypercar class. And in this past 2021 Le Mans, we did see, I'm probably going to mispronounce his name, by the way, please excuse me, but the Peugeot 9XR. I'll probably just edit the name on the screen right now. But we saw this hypercar, which also didn't have a rear wing, and this is one of the reasons that the committee for Le Mans kind of got together and made this hypercar class, because with the LMP1 and LMP2 cars, they are amazing vehicles, and I'm pretty sure like they're one of the most fastest closed-wheeled vehicles, and they're faster than F1 cars in a straight line. But unfortunately, with the amount of restrictions on the body and the dimensions of the LMP1 and LMP2 classes, a lot of manufacturers pretty much just make cookie-cutter, generic-looking vehicles. Whereas with the hypercar class, there's a lot less restriction and rules on the actual physical body of the vehicle. But even though there's not really much strict regulations and rules on the physical body of the hypercar class cars, that is actually substituted with very, very strict guidelines and restrictions on the amount of drag coefficient and downforce that these cars can actually produce. So because of that, we are seeing a lot of these very unique and creative designs coming out of the new Le Mans hypercar class, because manufacturers can go ahead and turn around and put a lot of aero underneath the car, and the magic really happens underneath the car. And I believe that's what we're going to be seeing out of Cadillac. Now, like, this is very exciting for me specifically, just because I'm from America, I'm from the USA, so you always, in these global events, you always want to root for the manufacturer representing your country. Me personally, I'm more of a Ford guy. I have a Mustang myself, but I was hoping that one of the C8Rs won GTE Pro in this past 2021 Le Mans. And again, I'm really, really hyped to see this coming out of Cadillac, because this actually represents a lot more American manufacturers that are really taking international motorsports more seriously and not just focusing all of their motorsport attention on NASCAR. Now, this article does go on to explain how this car, like I said previously, will be able to compete in both American races as well as European endurance races, which again does include the 24 hours of Le Mans. And it actually does reveal the name of this prototype, which is LMDh-VR, and it will replace the DPI VR, and which is again another Daytona prototype or Daytona International prototype. And unfortunately, there's really not a lot of information out on this car, besides the fact that Cadillac did confirm that they're actually planning on making this thing, which is an exciting event in and out of itself. And that's, again, why I'm making this video. But this is pretty much the only image that we get of this car. Again, we're seeing a lot of different aero components all around the vehicle. We have no clue what the front is going to look like. I'm assuming there's going to be definitely more increase in canards. Following the Peugeot 9X8, there's probably going to be a lot of different tunnels and channels that trap wind actually underneath the vehicle. Again, trying to create an even amount of downforce both in the front and the rear, so it can be easier to drive on a lot of those high-speed, straightaways of tracks like the, Circuit de la Sarthe. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think of more American manufacturers getting involved in Le Mans. I think it's very, very awesome. Obviously, again, this is not Cadillac's first rodeo. They've already been in Le Mans, but it's great to see them plan to re-enter it. I think Le Mans is a fantastic race, and it definitely is one of, if not the hardest test some of these race cars can go through. And also, definitely be sure to leave your opinions about this announcement down in the comments below. Let me know if you guys think this is going to be a waste of time and R&D for Cadillac, and you don't think they're going to win it, especially compared to other top money brands. Or let me know if you think this is a fantastic route for the brand to go down, because again, a lot more people around the world are going to be watching something like Le Mans, and if Cadillac does find success in it, that might produce a lot more revenue for GM. And again, definitely please consider subscribing to my channel and leaving a like on this video if you're new here. It helps me out a lot as a smaller YouTuber, but like always, thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.